This right here is the Xaero trainer. It is by far one of my favorite trainers I've ever flipped. I flipped tons of knives, and it's not just my favorite trainer, it's one of my favorite flippers. So real fast, I'm going to switch to a little POV handheld thingy-majigger and show you what's up with it. Get up a little close with it, just tell you what's up with it. The knife is titanium. All the handles are titanium, and it's got Zen pins, and it's a latchless channel handle design. And another thing that makes it as good as it is that it runs on bushings as well. So bushings, channel, titanium, Zen pins. It's amazing. There's not that much play at all because of the bushings. And as you can see, the little tang cups aren't that noticeable. As you can tell, it's not completely crowned, but super smooth because the edges are smooth, so it doesn't hurt you, and it's a nice mirror polish as well. So, that was just a little up close and personal with the Xaero. Just showing you some of the things. And here's a little swing test, just to show you how good the bushings are in it. And I'll show you the play again. You don't really need to see the other handle. Here's the play. Almost none at all. But even though there's not a lot of play, hear that? Wonderful, wonderful tap. That's definitely one of the things I dislike about it, but I think oil could fix it, and now I definitely do need to tune it. All I've done is tighten the pivots and Loctited it, but definitely does need more tuning. The Zen pins, which if you didn't know, on most Balisongs, mainly, I want to say mainly the, most Zen pin Balisongs, mainly mostly sandwich. The Zen pins, this is a tip, if you've tightened the pivots and it still feels loose, it's got tap or some play, tighten down the Zen pins and the other body screws as tight as you can, and that will definitely affect stuff like play and tap. And another thing about the Zen pins that you have to be careful with, actually, is, if you see that, no, it didn't fall out, it broke. So for you guys that know nothing about maintaining a Bali, if you tighten these small screws too much, the little heads will pop off. You know, I'm not too sure why, but it's just definitely something you gotta. So a really good way to avoid that is if you're using something like this, little torque screw thingy, if it's got different levels of, I don't know what to say, like leverage that you can change, I'd say use almost the least amount as you can, because I've never broken little body screws just using something like this, but using this, which allows more leverage, and you tighten it harder, I've snapped them almost all the time. So it's definitely something you got to be careful with. So, and I didn't do that. Previous owner of this knife did. So one thing I definitely dislike about this is, as you can see, the Zen pins really stick out of the handle. No matter how tight you tighten them, they're gonna stick out a little bit, which is what I don't like. Now, it doesn't really get in the way of the flipping that much. Maybe you'll feel it as you flip. I mean, I notice it sometimes, but it's definitely not a big issue whatsoever. My favorite things about this is the weight. It's got such a nice weight. It's in the middle of the heavy and in the middle of the light, and it's perfect to me. The weight is perfect on it, and the balance is also really good. I'd say it favors a little more handle weight than the blade, or neutral. But I mean, I call it neutral, but if I had to pick one side, it's definitely more handle heavy than a lot of things. Well, no, that's wrong. It's just a really neutral knife, but it's more on the handle heavy side. That's the same with this, but the Xaero is not as handle heavy as the Ryworks Omeme, which I will do a video on later. But I mean, the weighting is amazing. The latchless spacers in there, really they're just part of the knife, but it really adds more back weight to it, which is amazing. I love it. Another thing about this is, okay, it's definitely its own flipper, for sure. Super skinny handles, especially if you flip something like the Rep, you'll definitely feel a huge difference if you flip this or go back to flipping a Rep after a minute of flipping this. The handles are, as I said, they're really round and skinny, but it's an amazing knife at fanning. Wonderful fanning knife. Wonderful fanning knife. I mean, it really does everything good, but the round handles just make fans super effortless. Oh, that was terrible. But chokers definitely, chokers are definitely amazing. You know, I can't choker today, I guess, but you can tell. You know, I'd really say it's good at everything. Maybe it's not the best at ladders. I mean, I suck at 0G ladders, but definitely not as easy as it is with the Rep on this. But fans, gosh, yes, fans, beautiful. Just the way the handles are made and everything, it's great. So that's the Xaero. I believe they run, definitely don't take this for sure, but I know it's in the range of 220, 260 maybe. I just know it's up in there. So definitely not the best starter Bali, and if I'm right, they're pretty hard to get a hold of. Maybe, I don't know. I got this from my brother who traded it, or traded something for it, but I'm not too familiar with where they come from. I know that it's a single creator, one dude that makes them. I mean, I've seen his posts on Reddit about it, so, ooh. But yeah, you know, I definitely say though, if you have the money and you really want to buy something that's worth the flipping, if you're not strictly live blade, this is definitely the way to go. I do think that it's 10 times better than the squid trainer, by far. The squid is just kind of, I mean, it's not on bushings, so it's, now it is really good though, but what I'm saying is, it's not the best you can get, definitely. It's really amazing for the price, and I do love squid trainers. I traded mine for this. I'm definitely more happy with this than the squid, but if I could have both of them, I'd take the squid. But definitely, if you're looking for something that just flips really good, get this right here. Like I said, it's got an amazing balance, super smooth, really easy to maintenance, does everything really good, super neutral knife, and it's just, I don't know, awesome. So yeah, definitely recommend one of these if you're just looking for something, and even if you're starting, to flip, you know you're going to stick with it, definitely get one of these for sure. Here's some flipping.